Hello, friends, and welcome back to my studio. Today, Lindsay and I are shivering in our shoes. We are going to do a little bit of this or that today, so you'll have to stay tuned to find out what that means. So what is new and exciting in your world? Here it is, like snow and more snow and...
But not for long. It's going to be 50 degrees today.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Break out the shorts.
God has heard my prayers because I am like up to here with snow and cold weather. It just kind of makes me grouchy. Lindsay revels in it. She just loves the cold weather.
I did not ask for all this snow, though, I swear.
I'm not holding her accountable. However, I don't like her sitting over there smiling when I'm shivering. So hopefully in your world, it's pleasant and I saw somebody swimming in their pool the other day. I thought, oh, wish I could join you. I don't know who it was, but it just looked lovely.
Well, it doesn't help that my husband's in Texas right now bragging that it was 80 degrees last night and he was eating dinner outside.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear that? Her husband left her. No. He's been leaving her a lot lately. He travels for work. So if we say he left her, it's for a good reason. I think he's due back Friday, isn't he?
Yeah, he's due back Friday for a week.
Yeah, it's just hopping on a plane and hopping off a plane. I think that would get old after a while, but
he doesn't mind traveling, you know. I mean, he was in the Navy, so he did it for a living for 8 years. So, you know,
yeah.
But
yeah, Navy life is not one port all the time. No. I know that for sure. Lindsay has a lot of stories, Navy wife stories.
Yeah. So I'm going to say good morning to Bonnie from Oklahoma City.
Oh, is it warm in Oklahoma City, Bonnie?
It was 80 yesterday. It's 56 today, which is still warm to Ohioans. Wow. 56 is warm to us. So
a little bit chilly. Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Good morning, Jen and
Hi,
Princess
Jen.
Paisley. She has joined us.
How's Gigi's world?
So is anyone watching the Olympics? I know I'm obsessed with it. Chris, do you watch it?
I watched a couple of the ice skating.
I like ice skating too.
But not anything much else.
I watched 3 hours of curling last night. I love curling. I love curling.
I find that hard to get excited about, but Lindsay was saying it's a lot of physics and geometry and
there's a lot to it. Yeah.
A lot that's in her wheelhouse. So she's over there calculating
like where they have to hit it to make it do this. And
yeah, that would be a challenge.
Yeah. So Jen says Gigi's world is good. Paisley is napping.
Oh yeah, we know it's good if Paisley's napping.
So Sharon Strout's watching the Olympics. I assume that's what the yes means.
I do like to watch the snowboarding. I did watch a couple snowboarding and some of the downhill skiing.
That's my girl Sharon. She's waiting on curling. The U.S. is going for the gold today at 12:05.
Have they ever won the gold before?
No, not in mixed doubles. Okay. But actually, that's the first. If I understand this correctly, correct me, Sharon, if I'm wrong. The woman on the mixed doubles is the first U.S. female to win a medal in curling. So they've at least got a silver.
Yeah, they don't have good history of placing and winning in curling.
I don't think they do. The men do, but not the women. But
go Team USA.
So Jen says Brad watches it all day long. I'm bored to tears with it. Yeah, you're not a sports girl. Yeah. Good morning, Sue from cold New Jersey. Well, hopefully the 50s reach you out there today. Terry in Arizona as a snowbird. She doesn't like the cold. Good morning, Virginia. Bonnie says she's watched a little, not much. Good morning, Janice from Florida. I bet you it's warm down there.
Well, it's been cold in Florida. John's sister lives in Florida, and she said she got up yesterday morning and her house was 63. She said, I thought it was cold. And she said, I checked the thermostat, it was 63. I thought, oh, that is chilly. I would bump up my thermostat.
Yeah. All right, you ready to get started? We can still chit chat a little.
Okay, so today we are doing a little bit. We had a debate yesterday trying to decide what to do, and John and Lindsay got together and they picked a project out for me,
which is scary in and of itself.
And they both had two totally different ideas. So, because I live with him, I picked John. No offense, Lindsay, but We are doing the Hello Spring stencil, and this is along our lines of keeping it simple, but I wanted to do a little more than just stenciling. So we're going to get into a little bit of fluffing and fussing just to ramp it up a little bit. I always enjoy adding that wow factor. I'm going to tape this down. I did base coat the background with, and I used chalk paint. This is Milk Jug, and it's just kind of creamy, not, well, here's white. I don't know if you can see the difference, but it's just a little bit creamier than white. And I'm going to anchor my stencil down. If you want to make sure that your stenciling does not, your stencil doesn't scooch around, it'll make your stenciling so much more perfect. The key to stenciling is this very, very simple. A little bit of paint, keep a light touch, and add a couple layers, and that always works out best. So I think I'm going to start with the lighter colors, and I am using chalk paint. I like the Home Decor chalk paint. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier bodied. I don't know if you can see when I open the lid. Oh, this is
kind of hard to see with the light.
Yeah, this is a brand new jar. Okay, to open a lid, I always have the worst time. So I get my palette knife and I just kind of pop it under that plastic, angle it down, and it pulls that rim off. Really nice.
Whereas I just punch my finger through it.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
And since I have my palette knife out, I'm just going to scoop a little bit out. You can see how thick that is. And because I'm stenciling, thicker paint does not run underneath the stencil as easily as the thinner acrylic paint. However, it still can happen. I'm going to get...
And just to pay homage to Jen, Chris is using a Sam's Club paper plate. Hashtag Sam's Club.
There we go.
Because she forgot her palette paper.
I am loading my stencil brush pretty good with paint.
Jen said hashtag Sam's Club.
Yeah, someday maybe. Okay, I'm just going to tap it in. And because I don't want thick paint on the tips of my bristle, I'm just going to swipe it over a paper towel. And that's going to get the heavy paint off. I'll start in the middle and just tap it toward the edges. I do want this white to be very opaque. And you can see how quickly that covered. With acrylic paint, and I always use décor. This is not a characteristic of décor paint. This is mostly a characteristic of white paint. It leans a little bit, maybe toward the translucent edge. So one coat will dry, it'll look great, but when it dries, it's just a little bit thin. The chalk paint, however, is, because it's a little heavier bodied, it's going to give me a more opaque coverage just a little bit quicker. And you know me, I like a little bit quicker. Some things you cannot rush. Stenciling is if you're a little more patient, stenciling will always turn out a little bit better. I played around with this last night and I was not careful, and I was just playing with colors. And I showed it to John and he kind of went, ew. And I showed it to Lindsay and she kind of went,
I like it, but.
Yeah, she's always very tactful. No offense, but it looks kind of rough.
But I could tell she rushed, I think, is like, I could tell right away, because I'm like, you went fast. I said that to her this morning too. I'm like, I think you did it fast, didn't you? She said yes. So
I had a headache. It was before supper. I think I was super hungry. So there were a couple factors that kind of made me say, I don't care. No. I am going to give this a quick dry because I put this on pretty thin. It's not going to take it long to dry. 2 light layers is always better than 1 heavy layer. And if you are wondering, I'm going to lift this up. It does show, but not much. and it's not even. I always wonder when I use my heat tool on the stencil, because of the heat, it softens the stencil. That's probably not a good thing. I've never had any issues with it, but you might want to keep that in mind. Because I've anchored both sides, I can use this side more or less as a hinge. And I'm just going to repeat that real quick.
And while she is putting a second coat on, I want to say hi and welcome to Marlene from Memphis, where it is 60 degrees.
Oh.
I love the weather forecast we're getting from all over the country. Bonnie has said that she loves the interchangeables. She bought a few, but has not done them yet. And I don't know if y'all knew, Chris released the latest last week. This is the one that I would not permit anyone to see last week because I'm mean.
I can pop it in there real quick.
This is the Valentine's one.
Is that not gorgeous?
It's a little late, but love is good all year round. We decided that. And she is also working on St. Patrick's Day, which should be coming within a week or so, right, Chris?
Well, all I have to do is the instructions and the like.
Yeah, so a week or so.
It's painful.
But
did I show that to you?
Yes.
I mean, today.
No.
I finished.
You showed it to me yesterday without the word.
I may not have brought it in.
Okay.
I did finish it last night.
And actually, I have to be honest, this is probably one of my favorites out of the line, but I'm a St. Patrick's Day girl.
Really?
So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love St. Patrick's Day. There's like a teensy bit of Irish in me. But I mean, that might be why, but this is one of my favorites. I know St. Patrick's Day isn't for everybody, but that one should be coming out within a week or so. Hello, Linda from Indiana. She says it's 42 right now. Hurry up, spring.
No kidding.
Someone from YouTube joined us. I don't know your first name, but happy Tuesday to you. Glenda has joined us from Indiana as well. And she says sunny Indiana.
See, a little bit of sunshine would help my disposition tremendously.
Maybe Papa John used to take you to like
Florida.
Yeah. I'll put a bug in his ear.
Okay.
Like, hey, why don't you take her to Florida?
The white is in there, and I'm going to take a look at it in a little bit to see whether or not it's going to need a third coat. I think this is covering pretty well. I'm going to go ahead now and switch over to the leaves. And this is Sage Shadow. It's a beautiful kind of a soft celery green. And again, I'm just going to take my palette knife and get a little scoop of it and just put it on my palette, aka Sam's Club palette.
Hashtag Sam's Club.
And I did wash out my stencil brush. If you're not familiar with my stencil brushes, they're just a real soft bristle. One thing nice about it, you can just wash it out and reload the color. You don't have to wait until it dries. That's the one benefit of having a soft bristle stencil brush. And I'm loading it up and again, just wiping the tips off so I don't have heavy paint on it. And want to make sure. I'm just going to kind of swirl this. I'm going to do 2 coats, but can you see it just puts a really soft layer on there. Such a beautiful color. And because I don't care if this is super opaque, I can do the little bit of a swirl stencil, swirling on my brush and kind of go both ways. That way you can tuck it about against both sides, get a nice crisp edge. That's what we want on a stencil. I do not have heavy pressure, just a very soft pressure and a little swirl. And I kind of rotate this way and that way and be careful you don't get it in the daisy, but it does put it on pretty smooth. You can see how much paint I took out and actually how much paint I used. Not much.
Good morning, Laura and Barbara and Lisa joining us.
Where from do you?
Laura's from Texas, where it's 66 degrees.
And I'm just going to lift this up. And I'm giving this a quick dry because I don't want to have to go back and clean my brush out a couple times. So if I dry it quickly now, I can just keep that same color loaded in my brush. Just kind of streamlined, makes your time a little more efficient. And I'll reload that brush. And again, wipe it over that paper towel. Don't skip this step. It just ensures that the stenciling is going to be perfect. Now, because I just reloaded, I'm just very gently touching this to create that second coverage.
Lisa is from Norfolk, Virginia.
Is it warm in Norfolk?
I've been there. My husband was stationed there.
See?
Back to the Navy.
Navy wife, all over the place. And you can peek at this and see the difference in the color. It's a little more opaque, and we don't need it super heavy. Just want to have a nice, strong color.
She says it's a crisp 42 degrees.
I could use a crisp 42.
Yeah, 42 is better than, what was it, 20 this morning?
At least it wasn't single digits or below. We've dealt with
10.
that. Yeah, we've dealt with that. The whole month of January, I think, was below 0 or single digits.
Susan, no, we are not doing Christmas Unwrapped this year. The plan is for Chris to do like the kind of mini series, just like True Story, and just release some more of those this year. That is the plan. But yeah, unfortunately, no Christmas Unwrapped this year.
And I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball. I had a rough Christmas season, but I'm getting back. And I told Lindsay, I said, I got to get my mojo back. And, you know, it just takes a while sometimes.
Well, and the weather doesn't help.
The weather does not help.
Not you. Not when you love your sunshine in your summer and, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 20s in Virginia. That's cold for Virginia, it seems.
Ooh.
She says it's been in the 20s.
This is Decor Vintage Pink. I didn't have this color in the chalk paint. I don't use a lot of pink. So for me to get a big bottle of pink chalk paint probably would not be, I just wouldn't use it enough. So chalk paint can be intermixed with the deco art. It cannot be combined with the deco art. And by that, I mean, you can't mix the two colors together. So I'm just going to paint these little round dots pink. This is a pretty color. It's kind of a coral pink. And I want these a little more opaque, and I don't think I'm going to have to do 2 coats on this. Now, if I were using black background, which we didn't talk about that, did we?
You touched on it, and I think you should we'll show it. Yeah, did you send me that picture?
I did. I sent you
I forgot
2. I did a side by side, and then so Lindsay's vision for this was a black background with colors that really popped, and I did a messy version, and nobody liked it, so I went with this version.
Well, I liked it, but
it was messy.
I could tell she rushed.
Now I want to paint this little heart pink, but it's really close to that eye. So I'm just going to take my, one of my tools, and I'll just go around that, and it masks all that background area off. I can just stencil that heart without worrying about getting paint somewhere else. And I do that a lot. These are just super handy for a lot of different purposes other than just stenciling round or shapes or whatever it is. One more here.
I was going to say, don't forget that dot.
Yeah, I forgot one last night. It's more than once. Okay, how's this looking? It's always fun to peek. Okay, we're good. And I think the flowers, they look white enough. I think they're going to work. We're going to enhance them a little bit. This is just the, we're laying the bones down, as I would call it. And To stencil the lettering, I'm using Maui sand. This is a chalk paint. And they sent me a little sample bottle. So,
Oh, yeah, you missed the dot at the top. Top
I
left.
did, yeah.
Thank you, Marlene.
Where's my brush? Here it is. I'm glad I didn't wash that brush out.
I didn't even see that.
So I always miss one. See, it's helpful to have more eyes on the ground here. And this is Maui sand. It's not black. It's kind of a smoky gray on, not quite a charcoal gray, but it's really a pretty color. And I thought with this particular palette that it needed to be a little more delicate and not quite as harsh. And I'm going to start with the bigger lettering first. And because I just loaded my brush, I'm going to pounce. And then once I get enough paint off of that, I will start to swirl. When I did the other one, I had a black background.
I'm going to pop that graphic up while you're doing that.
Okay.
And she cleaned it up this morning when she got here. But this is a side-by-side. Papa John like the white one. I like the black one. It's just a difference in personalities. So they both are very appealing. Mm-hmm. It is your personality, what you prefer. Yeah. So that's the difference, like what you could do. And I forgot to mention that this is actually a brand new surface to us. We'll give him credit. This was Papa John's idea to do this surface yesterday. And it's perfect for the stencil.
Yeah, as soon as he saw the stencil, he said, I want to do this particular surface. And we're like,
so yeah, the side by side, I think both of them work. I mean, I like the black, he liked the off-white. But I love how the black pops. That's why I like it. It
really does pop. And after I redid it and it looked not so messy, and yeah, I agree with her. That's a really nice, and I thought that one would be cute with a black and white bow. Okay, Liz. This is optional, but I like it to look like everything's hand painted. So I'm just taking this is my number 2 radical round and a little bit of that Maui sand. Just going to connect those bridges. And this is something that you can choose to do or not. A lot of times I'll leave it more stenciled. I kind of like that look.
And you had said on the 2, the only difference is the lettering color, right? It was what you said to me on the black versus the white. You said the flowers.
I changed the dots. They were yellow.
Okay, the dots were changed.
They're pink here and they were yellow there.
So Laura says she likes both of them. Lisa says the black is her favorite. Marlene says she likes both, but the black is very striking. That's a good word, striking.
It is.
Yeah.
And I was thinking too on the black, I did those flower centers yellow, but wouldn't they be pretty with a little bit of pink kind of floated around them too? I'm gonna pick up. I'm using this paint straight and I realize it's just a little bit heavier. I need to add just a touch of moisture to it. It's not, when your paint doesn't float off of your brush, you don't have enough moisture on it. And I can hear Priscilla Hauser saying, if your brush is loaded correctly. She's laughing at me because I mimicked her accent. Funny story. I was talking about Priscilla Hauser when I was teaching in Florida, and I was telling that cute story. And one of the girls said, oh, Priscilla's my neighbor. And I said, well, don't tell her I'm mimicking her accent. And she laughed. So the next morning we get in class and the phone rings. And she said, it's for you. And I said, who is it? She said, Priscilla. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's going to get on. But you know, Priscilla is such a lovely person. She just got a kick out of it.
Barbara has a question. I own my own country primitive shop. What's a good price to ask for these?
I have seen these going anywhere from $20 to $40. And even, if you put a lot of flu on them, like a bow and some greenery.
What was that word? Flu?
Fluff, a little fluff. You can probably even, get a little bit more on that. But it depends on your area. You might just check what other places are selling, in your area. If you're selling them on Etsy, you kind of have an open field, but then you have bigger competition too.
So this is a 12-inch plaque, and we sell it for $4.95, and then the stencil, I can't remember how much it is. Stencil's $8.99, but if you're doing multiples of it, you kind of factor that in. So, you got to figure your time. So yeah, I think $20 is a good place to start. But again, it does depend on the area. I used to do craft shows too. And I had friends that do craft shows in different states, and they would charge probably 2.5, 3 times more than I was charging. But what they were charging, I would not get in this area. So it just depends on the area. But $20 would probably be a good starting point. And again, like Chris said, if you had flu, flu or whatever it was, that also would factor into it. And a good tip that she has, especially with greenery, she picks hers like when it's on sale at Hobby Lobby and whatnot. And she uses every little bit. She snips that stuff down until there's nothing left on that greenery.
Hey,
so
if it's green, it'll work somewhere.
Yeah, she makes it last as long as possible. So, that's a good tip. Just watch the sales and pick that stuff up. Oh, thank you, Barbara. She said this is nicer than the ones they sell in the warehouses.
True.
But that's a good tip. Just watch the sales, and like when a specific holiday is over, just go in and check that out, because they're always getting rid of seasonal greenery and whatnot.
And there's always that one place.
The Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually, I think that ribbon that you're going to use is the ribbon that we're going to use today is from the Dollar Tree.
You have to be quick though.
It doesn't and Dollar Trees are different depending on the area. For instance, Jen's Dollar Tree, she's in a bigger city than we are. She always
gets the best stuff.
Has the best selection. And then I'll go into our little, and just to compare, we're kind of rural. We're like the biggest town in the county, but it's farming basically all around us. And we have a Dollar Tree, and we'll go in there, and it's slim pickings. But definitely, if you have a Dollar Tree, going in there, the ribbon and stuff like that, sometimes you can find some good greenery and floral. Sometimes it's not worth it, but definitely the ribbon. They always have good seasonal ribbon, but you have to go early and check. So.
Okay, I just went back with a little bit of lush green. I did thin it down, just put a little bit of a line on the outer side of the leaves. If you look at it real close, it's not perfect, but that's okay. I want this to be a little bit, maybe like the farmhouse look that makes it look a little hand painted, a little handcrafted. It gives that look of, when it's too perfect, it looks like it's printed. This gives you a little freedom to kind of just let it flow. And I think it just adds a little bit of dimension there and you can see how quickly it took me to drop those in. I want to put some centers on my flowers, and I'm just going to take a minute. I'm going to use my, I wonder if the other one's clean. Yeah, this one's clean. Okay, I'll just use that one. I want to use my Painter's Pal, and this one is the Painter's Pal. This one is the Bubble Buddy. And I could just use this, but I need to clean it because it's I want to see where I'm placing my circles. And if your template is dirty, Plus, this has that dark on it. I'm stenciling with this pale yellow. It'll come off and it'll smudge that yellow and make it look dirty. So make sure the template is clean. If you're using a template, save yourself a lot of grief. And I tried using, I was really tired last night. I tried using a spouncer. Let me grab this real quick. Yeah. I just was going to use this and put a dot in the center. Well, it works, but it's really messy, and it left the paint textured, a little bit dimpled. And I didn't want that because I was planning to go back and put some line work on it.
Lisa says she lives by the Greenbrier Dollar Tree headquarters, so she gets the good stuff.
Oh, man. Premium pip.
Hello, is it Karina? I apologize if I mispronounced that. From Nova Scotia. Welcome.
Oh, Nova Scotia.
Lisa says she loves your painting technique, and this is her first live. We appreciate you joining us. We typically go live every Tuesday at 10 Eastern. Typically, I say, because sometimes things happen, vacations and stuff like that. When the weather gets warmer and we have good old storms, sometimes our internet's not the greatest, so that might do it. But again, thank you for joining us. Hello, Kim. Welcome.
So when I'm finished with my doing my center, I'm just going to take and rub it on a paper towel. It cleans it up. Then I can pretty much see through it to center over the daisy. It just takes a second to wipe it off. Save yourself a lot of grief. These are not big enough. I need bigger. Okay, I'm going to get brave. I'm going to flip it over so that I don't get any of that black on there. Yeah, those need to be bigger. And the yellow, because I'm putting it on that white background, it's really going to jump out and be bold. I thought it would be fun to have bigger centers. There's not a lot of going on in this, so I thought whatever design I put in really needs to be impactful. So I was able to stencil all those in, and you can see I pulled out a bunch of paint and I used just an nth of that. So it's really hard to not use a lot of paint, and kind of keep that in mind. You want to try to, paint costs money, so you try to conserve as much as you can. You can even take your palette knife and kind of scoop that up and put it back in. As long as it's not starting to skim up, it'll be fine to put it back in. Now, I do want to add a little bit of line work on this, and I'm going to use the Identipen. I tried the microns. They were too fine. I want a little more strength in the line work. And this is something that it just needs to be kind of loose and fun and not stressful. So I'm just going to take, and I want to make sure. Okay. You know what? I'm going to.
How much caffeine have you had today?
Probably too much. These little dots, I want them to show up more, and I will just kind of go around. And I'm using that because see how that makes such a nice little circle? If I go around it by hand, it's going to be really irregular. I'm going to drop a size down on that.
And if you would rather, you can, of course, use a brush for this.
Well, yeah, you can.
If you can.
This is where you can add a little bit of personality. Or you can follow it exactly, whatever you prefer. But look how that dresses it up. I just think that's so much fun. And I can only go one way, so I'm going to have to turn this over. I'm gonna add that center vein. I like a little point on the end. At first you think, ooh, but then when you start adding a little bit more, you think, oh, that's starting to really flow now. And it doesn't take long. I should slow down a little bit more.
Thelma asked, can you spray varnish over that pen?
Yes, you can. I would give it a little bit of time for the ink to dry. You probably, if you waited there, so you probably could brush varnish over it, but I would test it first. I'm not worried if I go outside the lines. Inside the lines, it just adds a little more drama, a little more character. And one more here. You kind of have to get a little bit brave to do this because once you use this pen, you can't erase it. What does Linda say? Once you use it, you're married to it. So look how those leaves just really pop. So I'm going to do the same thing for the daisies, and this is going to take a little bit of time. But I'm just going to go around those leaves. And I can do it a couple times. And I'll do a few of them and then and don't worry if you mess up because it just all works together. This is such a great way to add personality and interest. Now I'm just going to add just a little bit of a squiggle around the outer edge. And it's fun to put some little dip dots in there. Now that little daisy, that's really sweet. Because I'm going to, let's just put a little more on here. If you do a little extra, it makes it look a little bit intentional. When I go around it perfectly with a single outline, it's very controlled. But when I add just a few little movement lines, they just kind of pop. And see how they go from plain to exciting. And I'm going to grab, I probably should do this. No, I'll wait. Don't let me forget to dip dot. I'm going to, if I put that on there, I'm going to stick my hand in it and I'll end up ruining it. So this is just a matter of going around. And I'll probably get dizzy watching me go around. I'm going to move that, Lindsay. It's kind of driving me crazy. We've got tape on here so you can see, so I don't go off camera, but she'll tell me.
Hi, Mary Jane. She says she's ready for spring too. It's 50 there in Illinois. It feels like a heat wave.
Oh, you know, if we could just get a taste of warmth.
Yeah, we're getting one today, and then it's going to get cold again.
And then we get kind of greedy, and then we think, okay, we want it all the time. And just add my little dip dots. How sweet is that? This is so much fun, and I think this is rather relaxing. And it doesn't take long. It makes such a big difference. It goes from just plain to really standing out. If you got little shaky hands, this is perfect because you don't have to have a nice, solid, smooth touch. And that's unless that's what you're going for. I love this. Just look at these little flowers, how sweet they are. Okay, I'm going to be a little consistent here. I'm going to do the dots and then I will. And on these dots, can you see I just pick a circle that's a little bit bigger than the dot and I can go around the outer edge, or I can pick one that's exactly the same size. Oops. And go around it. And then I'll just add a little bit of little movement around there. And that's optional. A little bit on the heart. I'll just get these done real quick. And just for the sake of time, we'll move on. I think Lindsay's hubby's coming home Friday. I think I said that, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
She always said when he's gone, she eats college food.
Yeah, I resort to what I ate in college, and I eat stuff that he doesn't like, and yeah. So.
Okay. My watch is dinging at me. Do you like that little bit of line work around the outside? I think it adds so much.
Lisa, yeah, all of our lives are available on our YouTube channel. There's like a section, if you go to the channel, it'll say like live, and you can find them all there. And she also uploads videos from time to time, and those are on there as well. And if you subscribe, it'll notify you when we're live and when new videos are uploaded.
And you can also subscribe to our newsletter, and I think that lets you, well, I don't know that, does that have the lives in it?
The newsletter?
Yeah, no. Okay.
Marlene, that is the IdentiPen. What size is it?
It has two tips on it.
She's using mainly the smaller tip. I'm not sure.
It's a 0.4 millimeter, and this ends a 1 point, maybe something. 1 point something millimeter.
So yeah, if you'd rather use a micron, you can. She preferred the IdentiPen.
The micron did not slide really easily on the chalk paint. The top chalk paint has a little more texture to it than the acrylic paint. I probably could have sanded it a little bit. But I did not have a micron that was heavy enough that even made enough border that it was attractive or appealing. I'm trying to get the right word.
Suzanne says lining those daisies really made them stand out.
It's amazing, isn't it? And they all of a sudden they look just really elegant and fun. They went from boring to.
Hi, Marianne. Marianne Eversold here.
Hi, Marianne.
She says she loves watching you.
How's your puppy dog today? Driving you crazy? Marianne's studio's upstairs and her dog won't go up the stairs, so she has to paint alone. That's sad. You should teach that dog to base coat, Marianne. And these little dip dots, I'm telling you, and you can use dip dots if you prefer, but I'm just pressing down with the point of my pen, and we'll just add those on there. I am going really fast on this. And I don't think it makes a difference. I think when you slow down, it becomes too much of a chore, and then you worry too much about being perfect. Oh, I think that looks really sweet. Okay, now I wanted to add just a little more impact on these little dip dots, little pink ones. And I don't know if this is going to be strong enough. Okay. Going to get just a little bit of paint. My chalk paint dried up, so I'm just going to, and I did just use the Snow White acrylic décor paint. And I'm just going to add a little, and I think adding a little sparkle on each one of these does help make them sparkle. And they become a little more, have a little more life in them. On the heart, I'm just going to dip, dot, and drag, and makes kind of like a little tiny comma stroke.
So Karen asked if there is a kit. There is not a kit. There's just 2 items you need, the surface and the stencil. The surface is this 12-inch scallop plaque, and I just put it in the link in the chat. And then I'm going to put the link for the stencil in there as well. So those are the 2 items you need to make this.
So I thought this looks good, but the edges needed a little something. So more line work is in order. And we'll just do a little bit of a line and a couple little stitches. And this is when you put on the pretty music and you just kind of let the mind wander and relax and create these pretty little border edges. Now, if I were using a black background, I would probably go with the Uniball. You can use paint and not like a script liner, but this Uniball is probably the most opaque pen that I have found that works well. One thing you do need to keep in mind whenever you're doing pen work on anything, make sure that paint is nice and dry. If you go faster than the ink can flow out of the nib, you're going to get super thin lines or imperfect lines. So you do have to kind of slow down a little bit, let that pen work so that you're not getting frustrated because you're not getting good results. If the paint's wet and you get kind of paint on the end of that, it just makes sense that it's not going to work properly. See, we're almost halfway around.
Yes, we do sell the Identipens, and I put the link in the chat. And Thelma, if you scroll up a little bit in the chat, there is the link for the stencil. When Chris is done with the line worker, I'll have her pop the stencil back on the camera so you can see what it looks like.
And there's always one way that's easier for everybody to draw, left to right, right to left, top to bottom. So you find your groove, you can go through this a little bit smoother.
Yes, Cheryl, each pen has 2 different points on it. You've got a thin point and then a little bit thicker point.
There's the other end. It's almost like can you see that really well? It's almost like a marker tip. This is more like a sharper tip, and then the other one is more like a marker. So I can press down and get bigger dip dots with the other end. With this one, it's just very.
So one is called, according to Identipen, one is called fiber fine, and then one's called extra fine. So one is fiber, one is plastic.
Okay.
That's the difference.
I'm using the plastic now. This is such a fun border to put on anything, not just a scallop edge. But what it will do is just break up that edge a little bit, add a little bit of design. And again, you don't have to be perfect. And I think that's what's so much fun about creating something like this.
Did you hear that? Snow just fell off the roof.
Oh, go away, snow, go away. So I've gone around the outer edge with that. And I think we're pretty much finished, but I thought it needed just a little bit more. So I'm going to go in, add just a little bit of splattering. And I like to use this splatter brush. It keeps your fingers clean. I don't have to worry about getting into a big mess. There's fairly decent control of the splatter. However, I'm still going to put a paper towel down behind. And I do have to stand up when I splatter because I always say it's like a shotgun. It goes where you aim it. I'm just going to do a little bit here. So I can point it and pretty much go that direction.
You use your number 4 stencil brush?
Yes, that's what I use.
Laura, she used her number 4 stencil brush. I'm linking all of her stencil brushes in here. There's 4 different sizes, 3, 4, 5, and 6, but she used the number 4 for this.
That's kind of my go-to brush. It's big enough to cover larger areas and small enough to get into little ones without.
You typically use the 4 or the 5, but
yeah.
If you got big projects, I like the 6.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then like really, really tiny stuff, the 3 is perfect for that.
Okay, so I'm getting this Maui sand and my splatter brush. When it's dry, no, make sure. Just going to tap the tips of it into the paint. And I did just dampen my brush a little bit because this chalk paint is a little bit heavier bodied. I want to make sure that the splatters are not going to be too fine. The thinner the paint, the bigger the splatters. So if your paint's really dry or thick, you're just going to get a fine mist. And I'm just going to take and flip. And my hands are in the clean, the paint's on the end. So I can just add little bits of splatter. I always test it on my palette before I go to my surface. Look what a difference that little bit of splatter makes on this. Is that showing up very much, Lindsay?
It is. A lot.
Okay. I'm not going to overdo it, and I don't want it too heavy on my daisies. But I think around the edges and it just needs a little more design. To me, it creates a little more continuity, pulls everything together. That look pretty.
Thelma, she used one of her Painter's Pal stencils. She used, I believe, both the Bubble Buddy and the original Painter's Pal. I linked to the whole collection. There's 11 of them total. Like different themes. There's like a holly one, there's a snowflake one. They're all really cool. There's a bundle of all 11 of them, which is a really great deal. But the ones that she used were the original Painter's Pal and then the Bubble Buddy.
I think I use the painter's tools almost every time I paint.
Yeah. They're really handy. They're about the size of an index card for perspective, a 3x5 index card. And each of them have kind of different edges.
Which is really nice because if you want
like
to
masking.
use the edge to mask something off or a drawing tool, it's really perfect for a lot of different, they're extremely versatile.
And then you can just shove them in your painter soap. Very versatile. Can you pop the stencil back up there so they can see it again?
Okay, this is my stencil. It's just a very simple stencil. And it's what you do with it after you stencil. I think that elevates it to the next level. So I was looking around. I thought this is really sweet. And I found this bow that Jen made. Thank you, Jen. And I thought that would look really pretty on it.
Screw it down just a bit.
Okay.
There you go. Thanks.
Should I glue it on, Lindsay, or not?
I wouldn't glue it on.
Okay.
You might want to use it again.
I might. So, you can add a little bow. I think that always dresses it up a lot. And if you wanted to, you could even stick a bit of greenery in there.
And both of these, we were talking earlier about the Dollar Tree. Jen got both of these at the Dollar Tree, the greenery and the ribbon.
And I think that dresses it up. You don't need anything else on this. It's really pretty.
Jen says welcome.
Thank you, Jen.
Mary Ann says you have to have the painter's tools. She uses them all the time. You need a couple of sets.
Absolutely. I have 2 sets. And
You probably have 3 sets.
I probably
if we're
do,
being
yeah.
honest.
Well, yeah, I've got 1 set here, 2 at home, and 1 in. I use them when I do my line drawings because I have trouble with ovals and circles and straight lines. So I'm always looking for tools that help me to look good. So if you're deficit in one area, you struggle with something, there's a tool I'm sure that's out there that can help you kind of master that and overcome that challenge.
Can
So
we flip the camera?
are we ready?
Flip the camera.
So
Go ahead.
okay, can you visualize this in black? I think both of them. I think the black would be very stunning. What was the word she used?
Striking.
Striking. Yes, I think it would definitely be. And I thought with the black and white checker bow would be pretty.
So next week we'll be back at Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we're doing a new door hanger, right?
You think I should let Jen and Lindsay pick it for me? Or Jen and John? Sorry, Jen.
Lindsay
and John. Oh my gosh, I've had a terrible week. I have had an awful week.
Actually, I picked a new door hanger.
Oh, she did. Yes. It is so cool.
I really like it.
Yeah.
I think, I'm patting myself on the back on this
Oh
one.
yeah.
But
You
it's pretty cool. It's got a really interesting element that makes it different than any of the door hangers that we've ever used.
Dimensional in a unique way.
Yeah.
So it's something we've never done before. So you definitely have to come back next week and see this.
Yeah. So and it's a different shape too. It's not round.
No.
Or
Rectangle or
it's unique.
Yeah.
But you'll have to come back next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern and check that out.
Oh.
And
also, I'm doing a class.
I've got a graphic for that.
Oh, okay. The Happy Easter Bunny.
Let me pop the graphic up with your little AI self on it.
Yes. Everybody's doing the Chat GBT characters.
Yeah.
So I had to jump on the bandwagon. And I thought maybe look like 20 years younger. So nothing wrong with that.
But this class, you can sign up for this class. It's a Zoom class on March 4th at noon Eastern. When you register for this class, it's $20. It includes a PDF download e-pattern, and there is also a prep video for the background. We do ask that you have the prep done when you come to class. And the link for the prep video is in the description of the class online, and I will pop that link in here. Let me take this off. But that is coming up on March 4th.
And if you can't be there on March 4th, it doesn't matter. You'll still get a link and then you can watch it at your leisure. So if you are a 2 a.m. painter, you can watch and paint in the middle of the night. So you don't have to actually physically be in attendance. You'll still receive all the information and I'll still answer any questions.
Yeah, you get the class download. It's the day after the class.
Okay.
Yeah, because it has to process once it's done. So
Zoom is pretty amazing. What did we do before Zoom? So
I'll tell you what, COVID would have been different without Zoom. I'll tell you.
it made us all
We could still connect without being.
right. And we had to learn some new technology, but sometimes it's okay to teach old dogs new tricks. And I have Lindsay, so she gets me through any problems.
A replay for the video or the replay for this live? This live will be available on Facebook for 30 days, which you're coming on, or also on our YouTube channel. It'll be under the live section. Again, the Facebook videos only last for 30 days. It's some Facebook's rule. We can't control that, but they're always going to be on our YouTube channel. So
If you miss it on Facebook and you think, oh, I totally missed it, just go to our,
yeah, they don't go away on
Chris,
YouTube.
and everything's on there. Okay, any
right.
questions? Did we cover everything?
I think we did.
Okay.
It's
Well,
lunchtime.
thank you very much for joining us today. We created this really fun door hanger, and you can decide whether or not you like black better or the off-white background. Both of them have a totally different look, and it's so easy to just create your own thumbprint by whatever color palette you decide to use. So I want to thank you all for joining us today. Stay warm if you're freezing. And be sure to come back next week and we'll have another adventure. So remember, a little bit of paint goes a long way. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.